Back, everyone. I'm sorry I've been very distant. I have had way too much going on. Swapping cars, getting cars gone, my current day job, and everything else. So we all have excuses and all that, you know. So anyway, so on my trailer is this, I believe, a 49 Chevrolet panel wagon. Originally, this car came from the yard that I've been filming out of for a while that some of you may know. If not, go back a couple of videos. Anyway, this car came out a good long time ago. However, a friend of mine bought it, wanted to build it at some point. It's been sitting at his house waiting to be built. He called me and said, hey, I have a chance to get some of these cars. Would you be interested in buying it back? And I said, absolutely. Same price that you pay me for it, no problem, I'll buy it back. So behind me, I'll do another quick walk around because some of you may not have seen it before. Complete minus the front doors and the front and rear axles. Not sure what happened to them. I never saw them out in the yard. It's in pretty good shape. Again, the rear doors are sitting in it. Needs work. It'd be great for a chassis swap project. At some point had some lettering, it looks like, maybe up here. Anyway, pretty cool little project, but I showed you all that and told you all that because I have another friend that said, hey, did you get that panel wagon back? And I said, absolutely I did. It's still on my trailer. Why? What's up? I hadn't unloaded it yet. He said, would you be interested in doing some trading? So this will be the second car in 2 weeks that I've traded 3 ways essentially for a desired outcome. So I will save what car I'm getting just to make sure the deal is going to work out, but I'm pretty sure it is. So he's coming to look at it probably tomorrow. Maybe by this weekend I'll know. Next update I'll for sure tell y'all, see how it pans out. But if I trade for what I think I'm trading for, then I'm 90% sure I have a buyer for that one already, so we can keep moving stuff around. Y'all, as far as cars go, we still have the Impala clip that needs to be picked up by the owner. We picked up this Ford Fairlane, which is in pretty good shape. The hood's buckled. It's an inline motor with a manual, which is kind of odd. I didn't really figure that was going to be a manual. Finally got the door open and realized it was. Trunk appears to be in pretty good shape. It came from Kersey Ford of Montgomery, which is was a dealer about 45 minutes from me. The only thing I can find on them now is legal proceedings of where they were taking court. This thing's pretty solid. Fairlane. Somebody had swapped the seat out, it looks like, out of something else. The seat does not go to this one. That looks like a maybe a Pontiac seat. I'm not real sure. But it is actually a manual. There's 3 pedals down here. Manual on the floor. Not sure if that was put in or factory. It looks factory. But I even have the keys to this one. We still have the international travel all that you've seen also in previous videos. The Impala is sold, however, it is still waiting for its pickup. It's the same owner as the Impala front clip, so still waiting to be picked up, so it looks like it's squatted. We got in this Torino, which is in very good shape considering it looks not like it's in good shape. Looks pretty rough. It's been sitting. This Torino and then the other Torino and the Fairlane all came from the same yard, where they've probably been sitting 20-25 years, best I can tell. Again, this Torino has no motor. I haven't yet got the doors open, but it is a bucket seat car. Looks like the hood has got some rust. There's a little rust below the rear window where somebody had added a vinyl trim to top car too. This is not the factory trim, I'm pretty sure, because usually factory trim goes to the window line. Actually, a friend of mine pointed that out. Pretty cool little tidbit, but it's a Torino 500. And this one actually came out of King and Anniston, which is actually a still existing dealership. I think they just celebrated their 101st or 102nd birthday. So these cars came from there, from this yard. And then I also got this 351 Cleveland Torino. The engine's not in it. This one's in pretty good shape. It's got some rust in some weird places, but the top and everything else is solid around the windows, it looks like. And the original motor, it appears, is in the trunk. So it's missing a head, which we found. There's the existing head. Looks like the main cap's down in the floor. Crankshaft, some other parts. Drive shaft, other parts. Beauty rings, oil pan. And this one has a tack as well on the dash. I'm not sure how rare that is for the Torinos, but that's the first one I've ever seen in a Grand Torino with a tack. So pretty solid car overall. Lower quarters on the right hand side and the front lower corners of the door is where most of the rust is. As you can see right here, the lower doors have some issues. Looks like somebody tried to take the fender off and just stopped. Maybe they took the wrong one off, who knows. The fuel tank sits down in here, so I believe that's rusted. It's either the fuel tank or where it mounts. The floors are actually in pretty good shape other than that. So three most recent cars I've picked up are those. We are still working on the Wagon. I haven't really had too much time. My roadway washed out, as you can see from the dump truck. I've had to get a bunch of rock out here, so I've been a little setback with that. But hey, we all have troubles in our life. No sense in rehashing it. That's all my video of the geyser spewing out of the ground. So this is the other part of my driveway that got washed out. This was the main reason I had issues. Obviously, I had to get rock dropped out here to be able to function here shortly. This is the existing road on this right-hand side. Luckily, a friend of mine with a skid steer was able to flatten it back out for me to get my truck out the other day. Obviously, this rock pile wasn't here. I had to get my truck out from way up there on the corner. I was able to put it in four-wheel drive and get down, but it is soupy. It's been 3 or 4 days now since. There's obviously still water coming down, so it's got to get dry as it can, and then he's going to come back, flatten it, and then we'll get all this rock. This whole rock pile will be put up there, and then this will be now a drain. Basically what happened is this tacoed over and washed out, so there was no way for me to physically get down the hill. There was a tree up there, bunch of issues. Anyway, this is what I've been dealing with this week, so heck of a lot less time spent on the car, but that's life for you. I'm just going to show you guys just because I know some of you had asked. So that's the road going to the shop and the house. So we've been walking it every day till we get it fixed. We got a big rock pile and then still water flowing down toward this creek. So hopefully tomorrow it's going to be dry enough. Overnight it'll dry up a little bit more, and then we can resume normal operations. But have a few Wagon updates for you. I'm not sure where I left off, but the fuel tank is out. It actually ended up being okay, but I don't want to cut it up for fuel injection due to they don't repop this tank, so I don't really want to cut it up and then find out it's not great, or I need bigger, or something won't work with it. So that's the reason I decided to go with the EFI tank. So I have the cowl lip is entirely done. It's painted on the top side as you've seen before. I had to fix the bottom side. I'm fixing to cut a hole over there where the brake booster goes. I'll mount that in, so that'll get enlarged. So I'm not terribly worried between those studs. That's getting cut up, and then I'll block this down one more time, paint it, be done with this, and then the motor and trans can go back in, as well as the whole front clip. We can get that stuff rolling. We'll come back here. I cleaned up a little bit more in the seat. Ignore the Pampers box. That's what I was laying on before the seat got cleaned up. The seat actually came out a little bit cleaner. Last time it was still dirty. Still could use a little bit of love, but panel and the door came out pretty all right. Wipe down the dash. It still needs some more love. There's a crack right there. I'm probably going to take it off if I have time, repair it, and then redo it. We did get more sound deadening in up front. We got to finish up here, obviously, and then fix the hole in the back of the roof, as you can see over there. And then we'll finish out the roof, and then we'll move on to taking the seats out and getting the floor. Figure out if we're going to have time to patch the floors, or we're just going to, for now, we're gonna put a tag or sign in the floor and then fix that when we get back. Moving on, the fuel cell cage is tacked in just roughly right now. So there's lateral bars and vertical bars. But anyway, this fuel cell will live here. The plan right now is, this is the inlet right here. The plan is to run a pipe through here, cut a hole over here in this seal. The seal is from a 71 Mustang going into the trunk. That will keep moisture out of here, and also any contaminating things or anything like that, keep the smell out. So this isn't really the pipe I'm using, probably just for reference. So this will stick through from the other side. I have a seal on the other side as well. So this will stick through. I'll have a little rubber fuel connecting between here and there. And then it will go over here into the actual original factory fuel fill. So you will not see any of this once I have all this back together. Obviously this panel is now painted black and in. The floors are pretty much done as far as what I've coated them with. I've got this one back in, and we actually ended up with another one to go right here. So we were missing this part right here. We painted it. It's actually sitting up there, and that will go back here. That's the spare tire well. So when I get done welding all this up and this hole, that'll go right there. I'm gonna try to find a spare tire just so I have something. And then this tonneau cover will fold right there, and it'll cover all this up. So you won't see any of this stuff. It'll look pretty factory back here, except for maybe what I'm coating it with is probably pretty different. It's got a little bit more shine to it. It's pretty beat up on this. These are plastic, so I can't sand on them too much without making it obvious. Yeah, that's pretty much the updates for the wagon right now. Like I said, I've been very busy with this wagon washout, or the road washout. But this is the actual front clip, inner fenders and everything else for the wagon. So this will go back on as soon as the motor's back in. I can bolt the radiator and everything else back to it, which I'll wait for it to go in, hopefully, before I do that. So it's all painted. This was blasted, cleaned up, painted. The only thing I did not touch that had rust in it was the battery tray, which I'll get a new one. We actually have the motor and trans here. It is covered up very well from all this rain. So there's still need to go through a few gaskets, but here's the 302. She is ready to go with once we get a new oil filter and all that stuff. She's ready to bolt on, get the EFI, and keep on trucking. So got this covered up pretty well for a reason. Obviously I don't have any space in my shop. I'm sure I'm not the first person to use tarps. You just got to be careful and make sure that they're not holding water. The trans is known good. I am not a trans guy by any means, but we're going to take a gamble on it. That's that. This is the motor that came out of it with the hood up. Obviously it is roached. There's probably nothing good or usable much on it. I'm not even sure the block's any good, or I'm going to waste time with it. For now it's sitting here, but it had the timing cover off, most likely either through timing or broke something and they were trying to repair it and then just never did, and then ended up in the junkyard. So FMX trans, it actually broke an ear off when I was getting it out because I didn't care. As much caked on nastiness is on this. Didn't figure it was useful anyway. So all this goes to that. Of course, we have a big pile of just junk metal and tires over there for a rainy day. But that's pretty much all the updates I got. I'll walk back up here. That is pretty much where we're at with the updates. I've been super busy with the road washout Monday. It's still so wet I can't do anything to fix it. So between that and my day job, hasn't really had a whole lot of time. Just long enough to update you guys, and trying to keep it together and get all this stuff done. So I hope you enjoyed the updates. We'll see y'all soon.